Scouts.
This time I will call the Franklin Township Board of Trustees regular business meeting to order on June 27th, 2024 at 12:00 p.m. I would ask Mr. Chief Byron Smith to open us with prayer.
Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you for this day of life you've given us. Lord, we ask that you preside over these proceedings, give everyone a clear heart, a clear conscience, and may we focus on the needs of our township. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chief. Jan, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Yeah, Mr. Major, will you give us a roll call, please?
Mr. Blevins?
Here.
Fleshman?
Here. Here. All right, moving into, let's do questions first.
Sure. First on the list, we have Lori Stover.
That's me.
Lori, come on up. You've got 3 minutes. We're not gonna interrupt you or have any conversations with you until you're done, so that way you get your full 3 minutes of what you wanna say, and then whatever we say afterwards, there's no time on it. So whenever you're ready, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Okay, y'all, thank you for letting me be here. And my name is Lori Stover, and I live in Greenleaf Road in the township. And I'm here in behalf of my neighbors and I on Hart, Brown, and Greenleaf Road to thank Nicole and Mike Blevins for a job that's doing very well. We appreciate it so much. Let's see. Nicole, she was able to get to the heart of our issue, notify the proper authorities, and she was professional, effective, and very understanding. And Mike Blevins, thanks for answering your phone. And thank you for making yourself available for a meeting with you. I like that you were genuinely concerned and listened attentively. You had an attitude and a willingness to resolve the issues that we have. And these are the attributes that our neighbors and I look for in an elected official. And I just want to thank you very much.
You done?
Yep.
Okay, so we are a team, and I met with you, and I took your concerns back to the other two trustees. I just want you to know that. They were aware of the problem. I'm not mentioning it, but they are aware of it, and I kept them in the loop the whole entire way. And so I want to make sure everybody knows that it's a team here, and I appreciate the fact that we served you and your neighbors well, and that's what we're here for.
Well, I didn't mean to.
No, and I just wanted you to know that, and I appreciate the accolade. I just happen to be the guy that can take the meetings, but I do pass it on. I do get input from these gentlemen, and I just wanted it to be on the record. And as far as Nicole, she works very hard here, and she's good at her job. And so I really do appreciate that on myself and the board's behalf.
And,
Gentlemen, got anything?
We're just thankful for what's been done, and we're looking forward to having the whole issue resolved and the area cleaned up.
I'm just glad that the system worked for you.
It did,
And
yes.
it shows that when you do the steps, things do get done.
I'll be honest, I was not expecting much, but I was very pleasantly surprised.
We have a good team up here.
One of the things that I always tell people, I've heard people say, well, it doesn't do any good in this. If I get a call, sometimes I say, do me a favor, help me help you. Can you please come to a meeting? Because as you can see, we have our police chief, fire chief, we've got someone from the sheriff's department, the road department. Everyone is here. When you tell a story, it does make a difference when we're able to make decisions right here. A phone call makes a world of difference. As Mr. Levin said, he kept us going on what's going on and the support of the board and etc. And I've explained to a lot of residents out there, if we don't know about it, we can't fix it. So a lot of times, just let us know, because it takes all of us, and that's what this board is an elected official. and we're here to help you and represent you. But if we don't know, because there's no way for us to know certain things, we can drive the neighborhoods, we have no idea what goes on, so.
Yeah, well, that is one problem that I will admit to in our neighborhood. We were all waiting for someone else to step up.
Yeah,
So finally, I was like, I guess it'll be
it
me.
takes one phone call and amazing what'll happen.
I would just,
Oh, go ahead.
I would just ask you one thing, don't make this your last meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same
I was
thing.
gonna just say
Yeah.
that, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to make the meetings as much as possible.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. And if not, you know how to get a hold of us.
Yes.
And then too, we have this, recorded online too, so you can always watch and have an idea of what's going on. Because you're gonna become the most important house on your street, because people are gonna be asking you, what happened in the meeting today?
They already do, yes, they come over and wanna know, what's up?
Yeah,
So thank you all
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And next one,
Brenda Fuller.
and she's at Brookside, and
Yep.
let's talk about money back.
Okay.
Okay. All issues within the township affect money back. So, Facebook is a good way for the residents to communicate and express concerns, that the residents can let one another know what's going on in certain areas. Posts on Facebook are public record, just as YouTube videos are public record. So would you edit a YouTube video before you put it online? If not, then why would you delete, posts on Facebook that are, have no violence, threat of violence, or profanity? Number two, in the last meeting, the special call meeting, I asked about the levy that would require anyone that leaves the township to pay both city and township taxes. Do the residents, this is the question I asked, do residents that get annexed into the city that don't want to annex into the city get double taxed? Your answer was yes. But yet, I also asked if the trustees were being proactive in stopping the city of Columbus and the township, or not the township, Franklin County, from giving away our areas. And I was told no, that you can't, because that's between the city and the county. That you have nothing to do with that. Well, I have a problem with that, because if it's not your job to protect the township, what is your job? And that's all I have.
Good. You wanted to,
No, I didn't wanna.
No, I just was gonna I'm looking at John because you attend the most of those meetings and you're
Yes.
gonna have, and you have the information I believe she's looking for. I can give her an answer after you, go
Okay.
ahead.
So every county commissioner meetings that I go to and et cetera, I've asked her a question, in regards to townships, say for instance, Franklin, County Commissioner's Office. They're the ones that, if it's in Franklin Township, we get notified generally, just before something's annexed or after it's annexed. Nowhere have I ever found, and maybe you can tell me I have a fighting chance somewhere else, that we have a state that can actually make a difference in saying, no, they can't annex into the city. My biggest fight is, and I wanna see if any of our representatives from the state and with our district here, why can't a person that, like say for instance, that lives across the street from me, at one time it was in the township, now they wanna come back to the township because they went to the city. Why is it that they cannot say, okay, I wanna annex into the township? It makes no sense to me. Oh, there's no way you're allowed to do that. But at any given time, I believe it's $250, you can fill out the paperwork, you're in a city like that, no questions asked. There's nowhere for us to be able to go and say, no, we don't want this to happen. Because from my understanding, unless I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, and this is just me, I have yet to find where we have a voice in that. Yes, I would like to fight, and my way of fighting this as a trustee is trying to get our legislation with the House to be able to say, we need to be able to be a two-way street. If someone wants to annex back into the township, they can. But what I'm finding out, it's big politics involved because people, they don't want it both ways. A federal judge is what gave us the ability in 2002, which went in effect in 2003, of something called township-wide levy, where then the people would pay both taxes. So that was the only tool that I'm aware of in a toolbox. All the meetings that I go to, the education classes that I take on a regular basis, nowhere have I found any additional tools. And I would love it, even if anyone else out there listening, if there is a way that we could fight this, anyone with a law degree that can show me where we can fight some of this, I'd be all over that. Because we need to protect our borders. Every time someone annexes a piece of property, that takes that much out of our budget. And eventually, somewhere down the road, we have to ask for a little bit more, because that would, you know, look at the north end, as you know, 12 acres last week, or this month alone, was
32.
32 this month, total gone. That we are not gonna see revenue. That means everyone sitting in this room that's a resident is gonna expect to pay a little bit more. But prior to it getting to that, I take my hat off to every one of these gentlemen here that have to find ways to cut and sharpen that pencil extremely sharp to be able to make us work without any additional funding, even though we keep losing it. So I apologize for going so long, but
No, you're fine.
was there something else I missed I should have answered?
Well, the thing is, you know, at one point, there's gonna come a time where there's not enough township left to keep
Absolutely.
raising taxes.
And that is exactly how the federal level got involved in it, because municipalities throughout the United States, this is a federal thing now. Throughout the United States, it was found that the only way that you're gonna find local government, small government, villages and townships is for the younger kids growing up. The only way they're gonna know about that is in a museum, because it's gonna go away. It gets too expensive to be able to do that. It's like sand in an hourglass when you turn it over. At some point, you start having a few neighbors change, then it's like, it's too expensive and I don't get that much service in the township. Well, it's because we keep losing our revenue. Eventually, the road department's gonna have to lay someone off. And the fire department, or it's gonna be a trickle-down effect. And once you get that momentum going this way, New Rome used to be around for how many years? I don't want that. So for me, as a person protecting, I am looking at other ways. Township-wide levy, which would secure us, because if you left, you're still paying. So.
But that's not fair to the residents that
I understand.
don't have the choice.
Right, so that's the beauty, it's not the beauty, but that's the thing. Every person has to make that decision for theirself. The only thing that Trustee Fleshman can do and the rest of this board is to actually say, we're putting it on the ballot for the people to
Okay,
decide.
so the question then is, I lost my train of thought, but if you do that, isn't there some way that we can get involved with the county to stop them taking our property and just giving it away to the city of Columbus?
So at this, and I'm not gonna say no, there's not no way, because I'd be happy to go to county commissioner meetings with you.
Okay.
I would be happy to talk to our different representatives to see if we can get something changed. When something doesn't work anymore, the way that I ended up in this seat was because my father, I went to a groundbreaking at the Delphi site many, many years ago. And when they were done doing the shovels, my mom took a picture of me and my dad, like we were doing it. He worked there for 38 years and retired. And I'm happy to say he's almost been retired 38 years. So the joke in our family is make it. But when I was complaining to him about you know, they're annexing this into the city of Columbus, but the groundbreaking that we went to was in the township at the time. He looked at me and says, well, do something about it. So that's what made me, I never thought of politics in my life. If you're gonna do something about it, you gotta get involved. I'll be more than happy to help you in any way. As you know, we worked on other
Oh,
things
yeah, we
together.
work well together on it.
All of us in here. I always tell people, help me help you. When people call me about different issues, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick up this end. Let your neighbors call in, talk to so-and-so and so-and-so. And when I talk to them, they know the public that is a voting body is not just trustee Fleshman, it's the body of the people. Then we have some teeth or skin in the game. It gets their attention. But I honestly think that legislation, just think what this township would be. I know of one person on, Alcar Road South that accidentally, they said it was accidentally, their property got annexed into the city and he has a farm. He didn't wanna be in the city, but they were running water through there, something happened, and his parcel got annexed into the city. He tried annexing back and could not. I worked with him on that, I went to meetings over that. They allowed us to do the meetings and the questions, and at the end, the door was shut. It's very frustrating. So I myself thought we were getting there, because if it opens Pandora's box to one person being able to annex back in, we have a lot of people that would like to annex back into the city. From the city to the township. One, a lot of people think it's cheaper living in the city, but you don't realize, depending on what you make, 2.25% of your income tax. Township does not have that. Township, I don't care what time you go to work, I guarantee if there's 6 feet of snow out there, you will go through our roads. It will be cleared. I don't care about leaf pickup and things that we have. Those are small government things that we can control as a body. And the more of our community that we have, the stronger we are.
You done?
I am,
This
I gotta get
board-
off the soapbox.
It's all right. This board, each one of us has our facets of what we're good at. I'm working with legislators almost daily. I talk to them. I'm sitting on several committees to look at townships that are specifically looking at some of the township rules. And it's gonna take, as I look at it right now, it's gonna take a higher revised code, which everybody in this room knows is not something that's quick. And you're right, they're gobbling us up, but we're not the only one. Any urban township is under the same pressure, and they're being taken by the city of Columbus, just like we are. It's not new. It's been going on, and it's not just Columbus, it's Cleveland, it's Cincinnati, it's Dayton. They're gobbling them up and there's nothing. I mean, I wish I could tell you, I wish I could go downtown and say no, put a flag in the ground, because I wanna protect, we're here to protect, like you said, but there's so much, and that's the thing, people don't realize. Our hands are tied a lot of the time. We're the bottom rung on the ladder.
But we're hanging on.
Yeah, but we're hanging on and we're fighting. And John didn't touch on it, but I'm not sure what you're even talking about on Facebook. But I assure you, I assure you, if someone is, I will have a conversation, and I'll do it now. Mr. Mazur, if someone's deleting comments, individual comments, make it stop.
Sure.
Make it stop. My opinion, just shut it, the easiest way is, so there's not any, if there's comments being deleted, just shut off all the comments, but that's a board decision. But
Right.
that's all I have for you.
And Mr. Chairman, that is all of our, speaker cards for today, sir.
All right, did you have anything?
I do wanna say
Oh, I
something.
apologize.
Number one, I know I voted for the township-wide levy and the way it was explained and everything, but it doesn't ring true to my ear either. So it hasn't we still have a lot more to go before it actually hits the ballot. And so I'm doing research myself, and I even believe that the attorneys are looking at it. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah,
You don't have to comment, just are the attorneys?
They
I'm
are.
sorry to say that to you, didn't mean it to come out that way.
No, they are.
Not asking you to divulge what is being said, I'm just asking you to confirm that we are having the attorneys look at it because there are questions. concerns,
We are, and I have a question for the board
okay?
during the meeting, yes, sir.
So there you go, so I can't really talk any further on that, but I agree with you on that double tax thing, the way it's laid out when it's presented. And as far, my own personal opinion about Facebook and comments is, I don't run from anybody. You can put something out there, I would not support shutting off Facebook comments. So James
I'm
supports it.
talking
and
about shutting the whole page down.
So I'm just letting you know.
Well, thing is,
Well, the comments are coming, sir, so you know. The comments are coming when we post meetings.
Yeah.
For this, and I think that has to be done.
Yeah.
And then people
No,
go
absolutely.
underneath there and comment.
Well,
So that's what I'm
and
talking
it's a
about.
constructive conversation. I have
I don't
seen-
think people should.
But if someone's deleting one of those comments that someone's putting on there, there'll be an end to it.
So I wanted to answer your question, I hope that helps.
And I'm looking up here, Senate bill that you can watch, keep an eye on, it's Senate Bill 243, that's one of the committees it's in committee now, and that's one of the committees that I am working with.
Who sponsored it?
Michelle Reynolds.
Now, also Michelle Reynolds, I know her, she was a township trustee prior to, 3 years ago now, it's 3 years now, 2 years ago.
Roughly 2 years. Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
It'd be 3 years this November, cause that's when she ran, we run next year.
Mhm.
She ran the same time I did.
Wonderful.
So, really nice, lady, spoke with her on these issues even then. So she has the grassroots of understanding a township and what it means to be gobbled up. If we could get a meeting or something, or if she understands or expresses, and if we could get the assembly to possibly hear us, I'd be more than happy to go speak on the matter. And as Mr. Leeser said, that he has more connections. I'm a bad politician because I can't remember everybody's names. I don't know all the people, but I can speak from my heart.
And you do a good job with that,
Well,
things that you and I fought together.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
I don't, sir.
Okay, I think that's all the cards. Thank you, ma'am. Old business, we're gonna do, I apologize. What is your name?
Sheree.
Sheree.
Yes.
It is, the podium is yours, ma'am.
I won't go, I won't take too long, I'll just get to the point. I'm Sheree. I hate saying in charge of the community garden, because it's for everyone. We got a late start. I wasn't gonna do it due to illness or whatever, but it's getting there. I'm requesting that all the trustees come out there and at least see it, but we need a rain barrel.
Rain-
Yeah, I took a quiz online and I got like a $50 rebate at a certain place, but they're out of them. I did some research and there's some we can get like $80 at Home Depot that are not crappy, you know what I mean? I was just gonna go with my wagon from the house, you know what I mean, but it can't always be just one person. So since it's a community, it's already, people are loving it. So next year it's gonna be bigger. I see that, you know, and so many people have donated, businesses, people, it's really been awesome.
Do you know what happened to the rain barrels that were there? Cause Mr. Stevens,
There's
didn't we
none.
have those that we got before?
Those weren't ours. The ones that was there was the people that did the garden before. They brought in one of the old tanks that they do like driveways with. And that's
Gotcha.
what we used to
I knew
fill
we
those
had
up.
something there.
I
I apologize.
No, you're fine, no, cause
I
like,
was just speaking with Chief Arnold. I think we may have a couple of the empty DEF fluid, 55-gallon drums, which we
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
some.
yeah.
We can probably get one of those cleaned out and then somehow or another figure out how to put a nozzle on and we can actually
Weld some solder.
we can actually help keep water.
Okay.
It's
He
it's
even
been
offered that,
amazing.
correct? You
Yeah,
told me
yes.
last night on the phone.
I've gotten dirt, I've gotten all the plants, he brought a big, huge bed, I'm reusing tires, you know, but people are coming out and they're seeing it, and I'm telling them it's for everyone, you know, and next year, I would love to like go against Havenwood as a contest, you know what I mean, like.
I would like
We're
to
going
see.
toe to toe.
So here's one of the things to throw an idea at. We got a lot of room over at Havenwood.
Yeah,
So it would be nice to have a Saturday where it would be, you know, hypothetically, you could call it the residents, Usually you go to those home, farm markets, so
That's
it'd be a
what I did,
resident
yeah.
market. And all the people in the township raise their stuff if they wanted to have like a little yard sale, but
Yeah.
meaning with fruits and vegetables. If you either wanted to give them out
Yeah.
or, you know, put a table up and sell stuff, I think that would be awesome.
Even there, cause that's what I was talking, I think I was talking to you and possibly Nicole about, like, it's, that big is so big, and I mowed it, so it is, I know, it is like, it's huge, there's so much area that I was gonna see, like, about doing something, bringing the
Yeah.
community, like, you know what I mean, bring everybody just out, like, just to meet each other and talk to, you know, just, cause
Yeah,
everybody's
you know,
stale in their
one of
house,
the
like,
things,
come on.
one of the things that we did there once before is we did like and excuse me for saving Havenwood, let me re-scratch that, back up, get my pencil out. We actually closed that whole street down one time,
Oh,
and
wow.
we turned into like a little circus, not circus, but a little fair. Festival, we did a festival up to there on one of the streets, you remember that? And we had the fire department there, and they had a bunch of stuff going on all the way up and down the
Yeah.
street. And that would be a good time, people could put up stuff
Yeah.
that they either wanna sell.
Yeah.
And then we turn it into an annual thing, like the first weekend in whatever, August
Yeah.
or something. And then the fire department was there, the police department was there. Do you remember that, chief?
Yes.
Okay, and, it was a rainy day, I do remember that. And what street did we shut down? Was that,
It would have been nationwide.
oh no, in their neighborhood?
No, we did it in Havenwood. We didn't do
No,
it.
no, no, no. We did it on your street.
On mine?
Yeah. There, it was one of the, what street does Cheney's live on?
Coolidge.
Coolidge.
Yeah.
So I think it was Coolidge. Once you got into the township and that, we shut it down from there on. We had the fire department there,
I
police
think I
was
do
there.
remember that,
And we
yeah.
shut it down all the way down to where the street that comes around.
Yeah,
And, you know, so that would be a great opportunity to do that again.
yeah.
Almost, look at the pumpkin festival, it had to start
Yeah.
somewhere.
and there's so many, like, great people in that
Yep.
area, you know, like, people I hadn't even known are coming out, like, I'll help do this, and at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was worried about a lot, like, the homeless people,
Yeah,
not just, like, doing anything to it or taking anything, you know what I
Right.
mean? But there are some that I worry about, you know, just, cause people are like that sometimes,
Sure,
which that's a
sure.
whole nother issue.
if you ask, you
But,
give it to them, but
yeah.
they just take
Yeah,
it.
and, you know, and I've let it be known too, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Please don't, cause I will track you down and I'll find out who you are. But, for real. But, like, it's, look, I lost my train of thought. No, the neighbors have come out, like, they were giving me water the other day to help me, you know, so it's, everybody wants to do something.
When you see someone as yourself, the more you clean a mirror, the clearer you see the person. So the more that they are looking out their windows and they're seeing you do the work, other people are like, wow, let me take her a glass of water.
Yeah.
Let me help
Yeah.
out. Can you use some water in my hose? I
That's
mean,
what
it's
they were
not much,
doing, yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
much help.
Bring me buckets.
But when you have someone as energized as you are and wanting to do this, you're the perfect person to lead. That's what a
I
leader
appreciate
does.
that.
And you, first time meeting you in this and talking about this, I think you're going to really take your neighborhood and really see a great change.
Thank you. I want to, cause I see so much there, you know?
And the thing that once you lead, you'll have all the people come behind you and help. So
Yeah.
it's not like you have to do all the work, the heavy lifting. It just takes somebody that they can look and see them out front doing something. Rudolph doesn't work that hard. It's the rest of them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna step on what John said, but that's exactly why I stepped up when you asked to do the community garden.
Yes.
And it needed a liaison. I had met
Oh,
you. I fed off of
I
your
appreciate it.
enthusiasm and excitement. And so that was why I was happy to do it. So I was happy to introduce you to these guys today and asked you to come to the meeting today. And so I just wanna thank you for getting it up and going, proving the concept. I think next year will be another great year. Keep going with what you're doing. And, do you mind letting everybody know, where exactly it's at?
Yeah.
I mean, because not everybody knows, we're talking Havenwood and no one's really
Yeah.
said Broadmoor.
It's
so-
Broadmoor,
Go-
actually.
Yeah, it's like,
So
it's
I
for
wanted her to
everyone,
say,
so
or you
if
can
y'all
say,
aren't
I
there,
don't
doesn't mean,
know.
no, you can't come have some. I mean, cause I wanna do, there's a lot of plants, like I have 15 to 20 different tomato plants. There was an incident with rabbits that I was unaware of, like when you're mowing. Yeah, well, yeah, did not know, but we'll talk about that later. But there's like 15 to 20 tomato plants, I've got squash, melon, watermelon, cucumbers, it's everything. And hopefully it all grows. But no, like, cause I have gardens at home too, so I just like giving it to people.
I applaud you. It takes people like you to step up in your communities, and the young lady, Lori Stover, step up in your communities. That's what it takes to build a community, and I applaud you. There's always, you always got the naysayers, but the ones that step up and have a positive change for your community, I applaud you. And I'm sure Mr. Stevens will get with you.
Okay, cause I have questions about picking up trash and all that, I can meet with like one of them, right, Rose, like you can give us equipment and, you know what I mean, okay.
And I'm really proud to say that, an idea for this, there was a rundown house, people living in it that shouldn't be living in it. We were able to work through the land bank to be able to get the property, so if the land bank is listening, this is a
We're not done.
success
We
story.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
We're not done. We're
We
not
were
done.
able
And
to
they're
tear that
working on
house
it,
down
like, oh.
and make what you've got out of it.
Yeah.
So
and
something that was an eyesore,
Yeah.
now look what it is.
It's made a difference, cause that, driving by that was just horrible. My daughter was like, Mom, look, everything's gone. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes you feel like, I
Pride.
have pride, you know what I mean, and I take pride, and so many other people do, but I
All
want
it
to
takes
show
is
it.
one and
Oh, yeah.
it's like poison ivy,
Yeah.
it'll spread.
Oh, yeah, it will. You'll see, guys.
Thank you, ma'am, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, I really appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Other old business, Mr. Blevins, you wanna speak on National Night Out?
Sure, real
We've had a
quick.
meeting.
So Byron and I met with Pastor Walmack, and we were concerned on what we were going to or not to do
Right.
at the National Night Out. So what I spoke to Pastor Walmack and made arrangements with, as long as it's good with you two gentlemen, is we will be having a table with a tent, and Mr. Stevens, between Mr. Stevens and Byron, we're gonna get a gaylord of water.
Okay.
And Jim's gonna bring it down in a truck.
Okay.
He's gonna leave the truck and pick it up the next morning. So our crew will be no overtime involved whatsoever. And then as a board, or the three trustees, we'll have the table, we'll have the water. It'll be a good way for us to have interactions with people that are coming to the meeting. We can introduce ourselves, talk about the township, things like that. He really wants us to know that he feels the Juanita Kaufman Award should always be given away there. You know, that's, she was the founder and the reason that, you know, it is what it is today.
Sure, sure.
So with Jim bringing down the skid of water, and we're going to be the ones that, you know, hand out water to people and everything. And, Jim will pick it up the next morning. The thing that I would like to get from you guys, or maybe you can work on it, or Jim, someone can give some input, if you know, we will need to have ice.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And we will need to have a container to put the, water in. And when I ran a football league, I went and got brand new trash cans. People think that it's a terrible thing to put it in trash cans, but if they're brand new trash cans, you can get a boatload of water in those trash cans and throw ice on them,
Yep.
and then pass out. That's mine. We have time to decide that. I know we're pressed on time today, so that would be my representation of what took place at the meeting. Is that meet with, what you remember, sir?
No, it's 100% accurate.
Okay, so, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I don't remember, Jim, there was one year that Dick's Cold Storage helped us with ice, or maybe it was Home City Ice, or
Yeah, so it was.
one of
I was
those.
thinking of
Capital City, what do you
Or Capital City, yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
So,
And maybe Mr. Stevens can be there, so we don't leave our truck sitting down there unsecured, maybe he can stay and bring it back that night.
okay, well, I was
Yeah,
just
I
trying,
like
Yeah, I know.
I was just trying to hit the
Yeah.
parameters that I was
Yeah,
given,
no,
and so.
we can further discuss that, we got a few weeks here.
What is the exact date of that again, so people at home and everyone knows?
I believe it's August
I guess I
6th.
should've did that out.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
sorry.
it's August 6th. It's, yeah.
It's the first Monday. of
First
the-
Tuesday.
Tuesday, it's national, first Tuesday of August.
All right, thank you, sir. We're gonna go down to new business now. Patty Spencer. Your turn.
Patient.
Patient Patty.
They call a lot of things patient. That's one of the top ones.
Don't
Happy
pray for-
Thursday,
don't pray for
everybody.
patience.
Just, we've got a lot of people here, a lot of you don't know who I am and what I do. I'm the zoning chair for the Southwest Area Commission. Our boundaries, which include everybody that lives in this area, to the south, 270, to the east, Scioto River, to the west, the railroad tracks, and to the north, the middle of Mound Street, which includes Cooper Stadium. I wanted to touch on the information that you guys have for your annexation, because that affects us too. I just wanted you to know that when I get something for zoning, and I think I did last year or the year before, there was a business on Harmon Avenue. They wanted, nobody knew. They just wanted to rezone all the information from Columbus, or from Township zoning codes into Columbus zoning codes. Like, that's how it can be done. They didn't know about it until I go, hey, did you guys know about that? No. Nobody knows. It's all done in the background before even I get paperwork. So I agree with you guys. I hope you find a way to do something with this.
It would be nice if someone was rezoning, they would come before the assembly to say, hey, that should be the first step, but that's not a step at all.
That's not a step at all. No. No, because when I get the paperwork, it's like,
It's a done deal.
it's a done deal. So, anyway, to more happier things. Columbus is still offering free fans. There is also an offering for free movies. The Breathing Association, is giving away, you've gotta make an appointment for it, free energy saver kits. Under health and safety, there's free lunches for the summer, and they are at different participating, Columbus Metropolitan Library branches that I've got listed on here. There's a children's summer shoe giveaway. The Southside Hope CDC is giving away free shoes for eligible children, kindergarten through grade 3 in Franklin County. And I have a flyer for anybody that might be interested in that. Under education, there is a No Kidding Ohio / Franklin County Child Support Program. And it's a program to educate teens and young adults about the legal, financial, and emotional responsibility of parenting using peer educators. Lots of information on that if anyone is interested. School clothing help, Charity Newsies is, got assistant applications are now open through on Monday, July 29th, for Charity Newsies, I guess, to be a part of Charity Newsies if you'd like. Under transportation and employment, we have 5+, which is, the city of Columbus is now developing a draft version network of bikeways that's going to connect all the community.
Yep.
Grove City, Hilliard, yeah. Zone in Columbus, hearing number 3 is, this is the 27th. It is today, at 5:30, and, it is going to be, where is this one? Columbus City Council Chambers, downtown, and, it's also going to be streamed live if you can't go to it, and so we'll catch it up later. So this is round 3. I don't know if there's going to be a round 4. And that's all I have.
And just for the people to know, that's for the zoning changes coming down from the city on their end.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you, Pat.
It
Thank you,
hasn't
Patty.
affected our particular area yet.
But it's coming.
Maybe, it depends on a lot of things. But I'll leave this here if you guys wanna make copies of it, put out wherever, if
Okay.
anybody's interested.
Franklin County Sheriff's Department. Podium is yours.
Thank you guys. Afternoon, my name is Dan Atkins. I'm the community liaison for this part of the county. No real new news. We have a new environmental detective, so I'm working with Deputy Fay, and we're trying to work on some of this stuff. We've had a couple homeless issues over on Gansby and Marvin, working on that. But I'll be here if anybody has any questions or needs anything from the sheriff's office. Please feel free to get a hold of me, or anything you can do to assist. There is an asset to you guys, the chief.
There does seem to be a increase on homeless activity over on Broadmoor. It's becoming more and more evident, and I can't track down which house they're staying in, but we've got a pretty good idea. But they like to hang out behind Speedway.
And then Speedway.
Yeah, we've had multiple.
Yeah.
So
Just,
we'll keep working
I
on it.
figured it's on your radar,
It
but
is. Thank you.
thank you for everything you do for us. Moving on, Franklin County Engineer Public Hearing for Proposed Westbrook Subdivision Sidewalk Project. Whoever would like to.
I'll do that. Thank
Okay.
you. Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Draco. I'm the Mobility Engineer for the Franklin County Engineer's Office. I've also brought Edith and Bill from our office as well. So, we are proposing to do a project within your Westbrook subdivision where we're going to install sidewalks on both sides of the road. As part of that, we're trying to use community development block grant funds, and the funds require us to do a public hearing. And so this is the public hearing that allows us to apply for the funding. So, I do have, I'll show this to the trustees and then pass it around, kind of what the typical layout of the sidewalks would be. There's a 50-foot right-of-way within the roadway, and there's a 5-foot sidewalk, 3-foot, what we call tree lawn, so distance between the curb and the sidewalk. You have your road, which we're not going to mess with, and then it's going to be mirrored on the other side.
Okay.
And then this is showing a driveway, typical section. So all the driveways within the project area will be replaced with a concrete drive approach. And this would cover all the roads within the Westbrook subdivisions, including Westfield, Marsdale, and Westbrook, Eastfield, Eastbrook, Gantz. So this kind of shows a map of just both of the areas, and you can kind of see the roadways that's going to cover. I've also brought a
lot of
copy.
sidewalk.
It's a lot of sidewalk.
A lot of concrete.
Yeah, over $1 million worth of sidewalk. I'll pass this around. The first 2 pages are the maps, and the 3rd page is what a typical layout would be. So this is the full plan. If anybody has any questions, I'll give this to Steve. Steve can help them, show them their exact property on there and see how it's gonna affect them. But definitely here to answer any questions. One of our biggest challenges with this project is gonna be fences. A lot of the fences are kind of built all the way out to the road within the public right-of-way. As I mentioned, there's 50 feet of right-of-way centered on the road, so that's 25 feet from the center line of the road toward the house, and anything within that area is supposed to be kept clear, for use for public use. And there's a lot of fences that are built into that, so we'll have to move some of those fences so that we can put the sidewalk in. Residents are encouraged to move it themselves if they would like, or have a contractor move it. If not, we'll move it, and we'll charge the project, so there will be no cost to the residents for moving the fences. And then any trees that are in the area, we may have to remove trees and shrubs, but we're gonna try to work around as many as we can. If there is a resident that's concerned about damage to a tree, we're only going down 12 inches, so we're not doing any deep excavations that should affect you know, root systems, but, if a resident's concerned about a tree, we can get an arborist to take a look at the tree and say 12-inch excavation, do you think it's gonna, bother this tree? And we would be happy to remove the tree if for some reason the sidewalk would damage the tree. But in my opinion, I like trees, so we would probably wanna keep the tree. And then, we would agree to remove it in the future if for some reason the sidewalk kills the tree, so. Yes. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
so
I'll-
that's my quick presentation.
How about the timeline?
Timeline, that's the one thing I don't know, I apologize. We are applying for these funds. This is the first time we've really used these funds as a department, or as an agency. And so we're working, kind of blazing a trail for the community development block grant funding. But in moving forward, we hope it's gonna be an easier process and we'll have a better idea of the timeline. So best case scenario would be fall. If not fall, then sometime next spring or summer.
And at this time, I'll open the floor for one question per person if they wanna ask.
Okay.
Well, cause I would love to see like our neighborhood like that. I was literally just talking to somebody about that, and so you just answered, it is possible, you know? So I guess my question is, how do we get us thrown in there? You know what I mean? Cause
Right,
every year my daughter has to wait in the street
right.
to wait, it's a fight every year with the schools, like the buses.
Yeah, what you'll notice is in the township, a lot of the roadways don't have sidewalks because they weren't required to build them
Yeah.
when the homes were built. As opposed to Columbus that required it during the house construction. So that's what we're fighting, we're trying to fix
Cause
that.
if you do it lower, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's-
so one of the things that makes the Westbrook subdivision kind of low-hanging fruit for installing sidewalks is it has curb and it has storm sewer already.
Yeah.
So then, all we're doing is just excavating behind the curb and putting in a sidewalk. If there's no curb or sidewalk, it gets a lot harder, because then we have to, either move the ditch, or if we had to install curb and sidewalk, the project would get really expensive. So, in neighborhoods that already have curb and storm sewer, it's a little easier to do these projects. So we would have to look at it on a case-by-case basis. Actually, before this meeting, we were walking around what's the school, Lindbergh? Lindbergh, and so we were walking around a lot of the roads there, and we were talking about how we would try to fit sidewalks, and those don't have curb. So those streets would be very difficult to handle. And in that case, I would pick one side of the road and try to fit a sidewalk in somehow. And so it would look a little different. But I would say that if you want us to look at it, we are currently working on a active transportation plan with MORPC, which is our Metropolitan Planning Organization. And if you're concerned about your area or would like to see some recommendations within your area, please let Steve Mazer or Nicole know, and they can get that added to the plan.
There's grants for even somebody who lives there, like if they have a child with special needs, or, you know what I mean, there's just so much to, you know, help with that.
Yeah, there are grants near schools as well, so we're using Safe Routes to Schools in certain areas of the county to get that. So it's federal money, it's harder to spend, and it's only $500,000, which doesn't get you a whole lot, but it at least, it provides the major linkages to the schools, so.
Is there anyone else have any questions?
I do, but I'll wait till the end.
All right, hearing none, I'll close the floor at this time. Mr. Fleshman, go ahead.
I don't know if your department is the right department about this, and I was gonna speak on this afternoon. I've been getting calls from residents in the Eastfield, Westfield. Is it Westfield is the last entrance?
Eastfield's.
Okay, so that makes sense why it's Eastfield. At the Eastfield down there, they redid the gas lines, water lines or something, that project last year. They used to.
They did water lines years ago.
Okay, something that they just did last year, and they had those,
Water main.
they had those, metal grates over it for a while,
Steel
they were
plates.
getting knocked up. Well, now the project is done, the contractor did the work, he said they're totally done. The issue is some of those houses that face Frank Road right there, or as you go in Eastfield, the corner lots. At night, every time a truck or anything, landscaping, hits the seams, it's like ta-ta-ta.
The seams, like the joint where
Right,
the new
right,
asphalt
right.
is the old asphalt.
And from what I understand, they've, went to the project through the city, cause it's in the city, it was a city project. And they're saying our hands are washed free of this, there's nothing that can be done.
Is it on Frank Road?
Yes,
Okay.
so it's just right down here. And I was gonna bring that up to you, Mr. Stevens, today, I had notes, and it was ironic that you were here. If we could check into that, and if you could let Mr. Stevens know, because I need to let several families in there know in regards to that, what can be done.
Frank Road would be ours to maintain in that
So that would be
area.
county engineers right
Yeah,
away.
so we could look at it, and if for some reason there's an issue with the joints that are causing noise,
Yeah,
that would go through our utilities department. We can get them involved, and if for some reason we can't get Columbus to do it, maybe we can come in and just mill and pave just
well,
that area.
that's exactly what, the city said is, we're not paying to build that and redo it. It is what it is. And the resident was very upset. When he called me, he was still very upset. I'm like, hey, listen, the best I can do is bring this to a meeting on Thursday.
Yeah, and you're dealing with, so the city has different faces, right? You're dealing with the Department of Public Utilities that they don't really,
Right.
roads are not their forte, so they do utilities.
Right.
And so public service may have had a different answer, but it's not their project. So, yeah, we'll take a look at it
I
and see what we can
appreciate
do with
that.
our own crews to address it.
So I can imagine that in the middle of the night, you hear, you know, like chains on a flatbed truck. That's what this, it was like those tow trucks that you pull stuff up on.
Hitting it,
And you
Yeah.
wake up in the middle of the night hearing that noise.
right, okay. Yeah, we can take a look at it.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it, appreciate
Thanks,
everything you're
everybody.
doing for us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, moving on to, looks like first responder, first splash bash.
Yep,
That'd
that'd be
be
us.
Mr.
Yeah, so our committee got together, Byron and Bob and the committee got together, and we've came up with our first, event, and, I'm gonna have, Bob, read it to you. Miss Robin helped out, and this is our first one, and when I had originally put it together, I wanted to do it at both ends of the township, but when you're just one person, you know, I've jumped up on it and everything, and it was a little bit more time consuming, so we're going to do it down here in, this, part of the township this time. And then, by the end of the month or the 1st of August, I would like to do Broad Lawn, or Havenwood, Broad Lawn, and Moneyback area. So, with that being said, the committee came up with a flyer, and they're there on the credenza if you'd like to take some, but Bob's gonna go ahead and read our, first, event. Bob?
So basically the flyer's just stating it's almost like a touch a truck that travels to a couple different locations. So we'll set the fire trucks up and throw some water, and the police will be there with their cars. And obviously the firemen will be there. So the flyer basically states Franklin Township's first responders, first annual summer splash bash. It's gonna be Sunday, July 14th. Grab the kids and let's beat the heat together. Join us for a family fun-filled experience, cooling off under the mist of water from the fire hose, guided by your Franklin Township Fire Department. We are going to start at 1 p.m. at the Central Baptist Church here at 1955 Frank Road. We'll be there for an hour. We'll move up Brown Road to 1187 Brown Road at the Pathway Apostolic Church, and we'll be there for approximately 45 minutes. And then we'll head over to Rangeburg and Geneva at the turnaround until 4.
That's awesome.
So the fire department, police department will be on hand. We hope to see you all there.
Thank you.
And if you need any other information or would like to host one in Broadlawn,
Yes.
please email us at adminassistant@franklintownship.com.
And what was that date again?
July 14th.
July 14th.
One to four.
Yeah, they're right there. And then thank you, Bob, for reading that.
That's awesome.
And thank you,
Yeah,
Byron
that
and
is.
Robin and, everybody that helped. And so when we're talking about in 2025, if you wanna host one, it's not for like a birthday party.
No.
It's like, it's going to move from location to location. It's got to serve the community and everything like that. So I know we're trying to get through this, so that's really all I have today, unless you gentlemen have any questions about it. And that'll be it on that.
Moving on to, township,
That'd be me, sir, again.
okay.
So, I'm going to just sink this down into a small thing, cause I know we're pressed for time. Steve has to get out of here and he's doing 3 jobs today. So I spoke to Mr. Mazer, So on Sunday morning, when I knew no one was here, I did what I called a township phone check, and Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, I sat at my house and called every telephone number that we have here at the township, and I left a message asking each person on Monday morning when they come in if they would text me and let me know that they got the message. And I can confirm that every number that we have is a working number. Everybody received their message and they all got back to me. So with us getting ready to change, we had voted to change phone vendors. It's really keep the same vendor, but we're gonna change some things with our phone system. I would like the opportunity to get with Steve and make some changes in our phone system, and him and I would work together and bring it back to the board for a decision, if you two gentlemen are okay with that.
So I'd like to make a motion that we grant the opportunity for Mr. Blake, Mr. Mazer, and, yes, trustee, I was thinking the word trustee.
Happens to me all the time, brother.
To be able to work on this matter together. And if there's no further questions in this matter, I'd ask for a second.
I will gladly second that.
Did you wanna ask something, Bob?
If I could just be added into your committee, we have a lot of phone lines that are unnecessary, I'd like to streamline.
Okay, yeah, the more the merrier.
Yeah, once
I-
you're working it, you do.
Yeah,
what you
everybody
want.
jump in.
Yeah, you can ask.
But you're good with this, Steve, I did speak to you, correct, and you're good, I should have asked that question. I like to always bring the person in that's involved, and so it's just, there's not any big changes here. We just wanna try to serve the community better when it comes to our telephones and things like that. Many times we're not getting answered, phones aren't being answered, people are tied up. We have people doing multiple jobs, and these are the things that I have down here today to talk about, but due to time restraints, I'm gonna put it in a committee, and I appreciate that, and I'm ready to vote.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor.
And we have a second.
Who seconded?
I did.
Okay. And who made the motion?
I did.
Okay.
Or no, John
I
did.
made the
John
motion.
made the motion.
Okay.
And now I'm calling for a vote.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes. All right, moving on, discussion of, anything else on the phone?
That's it, sir.
Okay. Moving on to discussion on website Facebook postings. I think we've kind of covered the Facebook postings,
Yeah.
but is there who's got something on the website or?
No, I didn't have that put on. I don't know who, did I have that put on, sir?
No,
Oh.
I guess my question is, I'm a little confused. I got an email saying, do not allow things to be posted. Now I'm hearing, you do want things posted, so I just need clarification. How are we gonna handle comments pertaining to, I guess in this case, Facebook?
Go ahead.
So I know I got an email, and since I'm one of the older trustees, not by age, just throw that out. I was asked if I could remember a resolution or anything of that nature on this matter. And I referred back in that, believing that our policies that covered that.
I do too.
So I tend to agree with the board that if someone comments something, just because one person doesn't like it, but yet it's not with profanity and stuff like that. If it's profanity and stuff that should not go on there, yes, we should reserve the right to be able to remove that. Because some people, in my opinion, like to be able to put something on there that shouldn't be there, saying you can't take it down. So I do believe there needs to be a way to be able to say, yes, there's a guideline. If it's way out there, we should be able to take that off. But again, we're getting into waters where it says, so what is the guideline as far as what follows profanity, what follows the actions to be able to do that? So I think that we need to have a policy, if our policy isn't clear, of what will be permitted and what wouldn't. Just because someone is upset that someone says the sky is not really blue, it's because it's 80% nitrogen and then something else, you see it as blue. That isn't irregardless to me, okay? But if someone says this person, this, and those are beeps, then I don't think something like that, or running something like that down, or et cetera. So we need to, as a board, come up with a policy so that we follow the policy of, that way it doesn't have to be asked. Mr. Mazur would be able to say, definitely it falls into the trash can category.
And I think you should have the final say on whether.
Us?
No,
Yes,
have the final
absolutely.
say on whether
Immediately,
it's
so
trash can.
so that it doesn't have to have a meeting to say, okay, they called Susie a snotty Susie. You know, we're not gonna get it exactly right, and there might be someone that will be upset. Well, snotty wasn't cussing, I didn't call her the F word, Susie. Well, either way, you know, there's gotta be something there that we say, okay, this is permitted, this is not permitted.
I don't think there should be any swearing or threats, period.
Right, especially threats.
Yeah.
Whether implied or not implied, cause some people can say, well, that was a threat, you're.
Let's ask a question, I told her. Go ahead, John.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't wanna go on, I know I talked a lot today.
No, you're fine.
But I just think that way there's no question when we sit here, what should have been removed, what isn't removed? Because I know we cannot in today's world go by, you can't remove nothing that is there. Ms. Fuller, as you were mentioning, you know, there was no this, there was no that. Yes, there should be, it should have fell under the guidelines. If we don't have guidelines, we need to make guidelines. And then that way we know all, as an adults, where the lines on the road are.
I guess the only thing I got to say, Steve, is good luck finding a couple more hours a day. Maybe you can make arrangements to get 26 hours in a day, because there's just more and more becoming, this just seems to be ridiculous. Now you're gonna check Facebook every day to see
No,
if
he's-
somebody
he's-
does something on Facebook that doesn't meet the standards and
He's
stuff
allowed to
like
delegate that.
that. So, I hope you understand what I'm saying here, so.
Yes, sir, I do. I guess I'm gonna bring up a Leo DeRocher analogy, and I'm sorry, folks, you probably don't know who Leo DeRocher is.
I do.
He's an old baseball manager. So, DeRocher always said he could argue with an umpire as long as he never said "you" to the umpire. So, with Facebook, if it's a general comment, let's just say that in Facebook, somebody says, the person who handles money for the township is incompetent.
That's their opinion.
It's, we're adults, it's like, just,
But it gets deleted.
yeah, see, but when,
Okay,
There's,
I mean, I guess where we're walking a fine line is, when do you say enough is enough if it doesn't get directed, maybe directly at somebody, or infer strongly that they're addressing somebody? When do we stop?
So here's a question too, sir. If you're posting when our meetings are, it's not required for us to post them online, you have to post them on out here. So why do we even need to have any comments on the posting?
I don't understand, that's,
It's just posting when we're having our meetings. So I believe that there are certain things that it's a statement, there is nothing to post. We're here at this time and the meeting will be at this time.
If you gentlemen are all in agreement with that, I don't have any.
yeah, I mean, that's a perfect thing.
If you're posting an event that is being hosted, you're just a billboard. But if we're posting something, about a story, like the fire you may have had, or the drug bust that they had, or something of that nature, I mean, if people are commenting, it's an action, they're commenting on the action. But how do you comment on a billboard that just says, you know, our meeting's at 12 o'clock on this date?
So, what if I send a PSA out? And we're getting a lot of PSAs that go out. Can people make a comment when they see the PSA?
And what's
Let's make it-
PSA?
Public
Public
service
statement.
announcement.
So when a PSA goes out and someone makes a statement, a comment that was attached to the PSA, what do I do?
I don't think there's enough Band-Aids in this world to fix the problem.
That's why I'm a fan
Not
of
for-
doing away with Facebook altogether, we don't need it. we're a government agency with a website.
But some people find it,
Yeah.
that helping, you know, we shouldn't, just because of the pains of the ones that cause us pain, if that's the
Oh, no,
case.
it's,
But the people that find it helpful, me, my personal self, I don't even see it, I don't even go there.
I don't either. I don't look at, to me, Facebook is a waste of time and energy, but I have a page just because, but.
So, if we just have something, you know, Mr. Mazer, I feel confident in the abilities of what you're able to do as far as what is posted and not. But again, as Mr. Blevins said, well, we add another 2 hours to a day, and there's 27 hours versus, or 26 versus 24.
Well, the easiest thing is, as you said earlier, anything that would go out from the township, apparently we just say, there's no availability to make comments.
Yeah, because it's no different than, if we put which we do, we post when our meetings are gonna be. Are we gonna put sticky notes beside so people can make comments and stick it on the door? I mean, it's just
You're
saying,
making that
this is,
motion?
we're just making,
You
go
making that,
ahead.
you making that motion?
For, you want me to make it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, and this is gonna be a resolution due to the fact of the nature. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the boards met in session on June 27th. Today's 27th.
Yeah.
27th, in the matter of Facebook or social media, our township administrator may and shall be able to distinguish between comments being allowed on, what do you call those, PSAs, as seen fit. If there's no further question on the matter, I would ask for a second.
Hearing none, I will second it.
So do we have a comment here?
Yes.
So my comment is, are you saying you're taking off the comment so they cannot comment? That's what I need to know,
That'll
what
be
I'm
his-
voting on.
That'll be his.
That'll be up to Steve's
Yeah.
Right,
discretion?
this is on what I call billboards. If the fire department.
Okay, I'm ready, I can vote, let's go.
Okay.
Good.
You know, fire department put something on there about fire, police, road department.
So John, you made the motion?
Yes,
I make
I
that
actually did a resolution, so we'll end up putting a number to it later, so that if it's ever asked, it went to a resolution, so it has a number. It's overkill, we didn't need it, but at least we can say,
I'm just tired of talking about Facebook
Yeah.
because it's just, you know, to me, I have a Facebook page, yes, to stay in contact with friends, but Facebook is so toxic, it's just ridiculous. And I don't look at other than my friends, but go ahead.
so, we have a second
We have
on
a
the floor.
second,
Who seconded?
I did. And I would call for a vote.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes,
Mr. Reeser,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
No.
All right, moving on, are we done here? Any other discussion on the website or whatever?
That's it, sir.
All right, moving on, Chief Smith, thank you for your patience, sir, I know you're a busy man.
Gentlemen. Try to be brief.
You always are.
That's right. First off,
It's always us giving you the grief that causes you to be up there more than you wanna be.
yes, I know, we're all
I
very
own
well
that.
aware. Yes. The speed trailers, currently we have one on Frank Road and one up on El Paso. So we'll do Frank Road first. It is pointed traffic going eastbound between Old Brown Road and 71. So for a 7-day stretch between June 17th and June 23rd, we have 51,449 cars. Which
Busy road.
these guys are well aware of the traffic situation. Highest speed during that 7-day stretch is 105 miles an hour.
Wow, we have one at Top Fisher Road, huh?
Yeah. Average speed for the 7 days is about 65 miles an hour.
Wow.
20 miles an hour over the speed limit. We are gonna focus our enforcement efforts there.
And Fisher, right?
Well, of course, Fisher too. So as far as times a day, it's all about the same. Day of the week doesn't really matter, all the way from Monday through Sunday, the numbers are really close. So the device is definitely working. It does slow some people down, sure, but, it tells us where we need to focus our efforts.
Yep.
El Paso. So El Paso, during the same 7-day stretch, we had 7,909 vehicles. Highest speed was 81 miles an hour.
Wow.
Which, yeah, I don't know how, because it's right around the curve, right there by Dusty's house
Yeah.
at the east, so
Church.
I'm not sure how they didn't hit his house. Cause that's, it's not a hairpin curve, but it's, slow down a little bit. Average speed, however, is about 44 miles an hour, so still well above, speed limit. So we are also focusing some enforcement there too. Not as bad as Fisher, not as bad as Frank, but definitely needs to be enforced. It's also a residential street. Questions on those? No. We've had 2 fatal accidents, one on June 13th, Demhurst and Southwestern, involving a motorcycle. And then the one at Frank and Brown involving a motorcycle on the 17th, which was a hit skip.
I'm taking it as the motorcycle that lost.
Yes, both instances, motorcycle loss.
And they haven't copped the one down here at Frank Road yet, have they?
Correct. Homeless squatters, out of the houses that we addressed after the last meeting, 61 Florence is one that's been sent over to Nicole to see. It's vacant, it's been going to see if we can't somehow use the land bank to maybe get it torn down, take possession of it. Because right now we don't have a picture. So there's no way to say, yes, I'll prosecute. So we're trying to navigate that. We found another one yesterday, 40 Broadlawn, same boat. We have squatters in the back. It's vacant, so Nicole has worked both of those. 40 Broadlawn. So we're trying to, get that into the, a nuisance property realm, so we can tear those down. And, it's my understanding after they're done with what they do, they'll return the property to the township, and then we can maintain it and control who isn't on there. Speedway, 3605 West Broad, 7 trespass warnings to the homeless. There has been several arrests. I think Officer Myers arrests at least one a day. Every day he works at least, if not 2, from either Broad and Wilson or Georgia Stone Broad, so. We're doing the best we can with it, but, as soon as you take one away, you have another one crop up, so it's an ongoing thing. 2 dirt bikes impounded at Brown Road and Richter, which I sent out to you guys.
Yep.
So we are working on that.
So that was actually, first thing I thought is, the people that came to these meetings and were talking about the issues that they were having with this. Jan's not here,
Yeah, she's right here.
You have glasses on, I looked right past her. There she is. I'm used to you over here. But it's good to see that we hear it, you hear it, we're out there. We can't always be there at that time. Fortunately, you got these guys.
Yeah, so we did, it's like everything else, it's ongoing. So we're working on it. The speed trailers are gonna be moved to Industrial Mile, which we haven't had one up there yet, so that is a big issue for speeding complaints right there. Where I think we're in the process maybe of doing the no parking signs, so we'll put those there. And also, we're gonna use Bellmead, because it looks like Bellmead is becoming a cut through, in place of Hopkins. So we're gonna start enforcing it again, as best we can for the stop signs, and also speed. Question?
Just a statement, I was headed south on Wilson Road, came up to the light, and someone was walking down holding their sign.
In the middle.
Yeah, I mean, there's a turn lane and I'm in this lane and then you have the third lane. I roll the window down, I say, get out of the street, F you. It irritates me when I pull up to this light, as good of work that everyone does, and what it does to Franklin Township. You know, that's one of our heart of the area coming from the city into Columbus. 5 people in that intersection, 5.
The problem
You
with
thought
that,
it was a nuisance out there collecting.
Well, the sad part is, it's just like that all over the entire city.
I
I
understand.
mean, and I know we're focused on our area, but
Right.
it's sad that it's everywhere you go.
And
Well-
but if we can hit them enough, eventually, as much as we feel it's a waste of time, they're gonna feel it's a waste of time, and they're gonna move their little can, they're gonna pick up their can and bucket, and they're gonna move to where they're not harassed as much.
What we hope.
yeah. The problem of it is Columbus does not enforce it.
Right.
There again, I mean, if you look just east of there, by the bus stop, it looks like a homeless camp there. But as long as we're doing something to try to curb the problem, which I applaud you guys for doing that. I think it was Myers, I seen him have one over on Philippi and, Georgesville and
That's
Broad
the other
Street.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has a special affection for.
yeah, well, and I applaud that
Yeah,
because.
we need to get him, can you explain what, on your collar, what that is?
That's
the
his rank.
Eagles, the rank Eagles.
Yes. So can we come up with one that the officers can get after they get so many of the homeless off the streets that they?
Can we give him a ribbon?
I can make.
Yeah. You earned this
Throw a
ribbon.
pat on the back.
Give him a medal.
Homeless patrol.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So it actually could be in our benefit that the city doesn't really like enforcing those, because our goal at this point is to get them, push them into the city, you know, because if they know they can do it there without any issue, but they can't do it here, so.
I think they're picking up on that right there at Broad
Could
and
be beneficial for us.
Broad and Wilson, because it looks like a homeless camp.
So my question is, rather than us even trying to get them for panhandling, do we get them for being in the street?
We do.
In the median,
If-
and
if-
forget about the
well,
panhandling?
Not in the median, the prosecutor said they have to be in the street for pedestrian in the roadway, you gotta be
Okay.
in the roadway.
Gotcha.
What happens is.
When they step off to get the money,
Yeah, I mean, if we see that, yes, we do that, but what happens is they get written a ticket for soliciting or whatever we see. If they don't pay it, it goes to warrant, and then we just take them to jail, which is kind of an inconvenience, it's not really somewhere they wanna be.
right, eventually we do that enough times, they're gonna wanna move on.
That's the goal.
That's what we're all hoping for.
Are we able to, and I'll be quiet after this, especially at, placing your bets, people. In these corners, like especially, I noticed one guy leans up against the sign and stands there at, Wilson and Broad as you're going to the south. Are we allowed to put a sign on a sign that just says, please don't feed, please don't give to the homeless? There's other ways to give. I've seen that in other places.
I don't know, I mean, Jim could tell us more about signs, it's not technically, it's as far as the police department is concerned, it's our roadway, but it's not as, we don't maintain the roadway.
Right.
So I don't know.
I would love to see something that there's better ways to give than to panhandlers.
Right.
I'm
I
not
don't
calling
know.
homeless.
I can't say if that's effective or not, I mean, I
Mr.
have seen the
Stevens, can you check
signs.
into that, or Broad and Wilson and Philippi, and
Well, you're talking about 2 different right of ways that we're not permitted to hang any kind of signs.
are we
so it
able
would
to
have
check?
go-
Can we check and work with the city or et cetera to see if they would permit us to have that capability to put that up?
Or will they put it up?
Somebody.
Yes, yeah, if we could ask on that, because if we ask, if you never ask, you don't know.
Please keep the talking down to a
Okay.
minimum, we're conducting a meeting.
Okay, that's it.
So in regards to the older, speed traffic signs we have, the one sign which is on Hague Avenue, my plan is to post it on Fisher Road in a semi-permanent type location, just a ongoing help. The other one, the cost of these signs was about $3,500 a piece. I would like the board's blessing to advertise that to other departments and sell the one that's still on the trailer for about $3,000. Use that money
Go back in.
for additional equipment or what have you. I don't need any kind of resolution or anything. If the board is okay with this, then I can come back for that price. That wasn't, negotiable with the department. I can come back later next meeting and ask for a resolution, get you guys the information before you.
I'll make a motion that you explore the, possible selling of the extra speed sign and trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we can, quick comment, if the board so says yes, that they would be fine with the 3,000, why don't we just go ahead and give a resolution, so be it, if they wish to buy it for 3,000, they can, so that does, go ahead, sir.
The resolution would most likely have to encompass whoever we sold it
Gotcha.
to.
My
Yeah.
fault.
So we could do that
Sure.
per the protocol.
So noted. So I would second the motion, if there's no further questions, Mr.
Any
Blevins.
questions, Mr.
No,
Lewis?
sir.
When Mr. Mazur gets caught up here, we'll move forward with the vote.
Okay. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
Questions on that or anything? Another thing, I left it on my desk. So we had an incident with a camper on Geneva. So we were able to get a camper, it was parked on the roadway in front of the residence. The township, Franklin, does not currently have parking restrictions to prohibit that. We did some research, and I believe Perry Township and also Madison Township does, which would encompass, different, times that you could, lengths of times you could have something like that parked on the street. If that's something that the board is interested in, we can do more research and we can pursue that if that's something that you guys would like to enact at some point.
Yeah, we've seen this in the past in different areas. I even know in Broadlawn area, there was an issue, and et cetera with that many years ago. So over the years, and I didn't know that was something that we could actually, a statute that we could take advantage of, for the public.
I'm interested in you researking it
Yes,
and see what
please.
else we can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please research it and get back to us.
I'll bring it back next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have.
I've heard people living in their trailer, like a pole trailer set up in front of their house and or I've heard in the alley and people running cord to it and different
Yeah.
things, so if this is something that,
And I don't know if we have to be limited home rule for that or not.
right,
so
right, but it'd be interesting to hear.
That's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
Real quick, before you step away, I just wanted to say, great job on the bikes, which you've already talked about, but I was trying to, and, when we're having these real high spots
Thank you.
with the speed cameras.
Mhm.
Do you have the ability to just report to us how many tickets are written?
Yes.
I mean, I would just be curious to know. I'm not asking you to write a ticket for every time, but if someone's
No.
going 20-25 over, they need a ticket, okay?
What is the threshold for it being criminal?
Well, the whole thing is criminal.
Well, no, I mean, criminal charges.
We get between, well, we'd have to be reckless off.
Okay,
Would be
what is
20
reckless
over.
over 20 over?
20 over.
I guess that's what I was asking.
And like I said, I'm not asking for quotas or anything like that.
No.
I'm just
Just
curious to know, we wrote, from this 2-week period to that 2-week period, on Fisher Road, we wrote 50 tickets.
Right.
Or you know what I'm saying?
Not telling
And
you how many
then-
to write.
And then when you go back and run the camera again, we'll have some kind of an idea, was it
See if
effective?
it made it. We'll
It's
do
not
one
about
at
the-
yeah.
one at a time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That way we can focus more effort.
That's all I had, sir.
And go from there.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
you.
certainly feasible. Okay.
I applaud you of the changes that we've been seeing and the speed work that you guys have been doing. I applaud your department for the effort.
It's costing us some
Especially,
money, but.
yeah, especially the getting rid of the homeless problem.
Yes.
Working on it, it's ongoing.
It's gonna go from the Broad Street area, probably to another area, hopefully into Columbus and Elmhurst.
We're trying to push them more up towards the bus station.
That's perfect. And Columbus.
Just kidding.
Round it up.
Executive session.
Get out of here.
I do. Moving on to Mr. Fire Department. Mr. Chief Arnold. Chief Arnold. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just have a couple of quick items. Through the relationship that we formed with the oil companies, again, since COVID, they appreciate very much the fact that our fire department is able to protect those large volumes of fuel that they store there. And through that appreciation, when they find extra money, they throw it to us to improve even further our ability to maintain the safety of their facilities. So with that said, they approached me with some money and said, please find a use for this if possible, and of course I can find a use for that. So just to upgrade some of our foam application systems and a couple nozzles, a little bit of hose. I had it quoted out to about $13,999 for the stuff. They're gonna get it through their vendors and donate it with your permission. So basically, I just have a resolution for you guys to accept that donation of equipment from Buckeye Pipeline.
Let's hear the resolution.
Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board approves the donation of $13,999 of fire equipment to the Franklin Township Fire Department from Buckeye Pipeline Company.
I would second that. And I got a question when we're done in regards to this.
Sure.
And then a vote when you're ready, sir.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Blevins,
Yes.
Mr. Leeser,
Yep.
Mr. Fleishman.
Yes. So my property, as well as Broadlawn, there's a lot of people that would be in a disaster situation. 1972? When was that last time there was a huge fire there?
That was in Grove City, it was in the 70s at some point.
No, they're on Philippi, those were on fire.
I have no idea. It was
Before your
around-
time, I'm sorry. That was before you were shaving. Anyways, there was a huge fire. Basically, one tank was supposed to be empty and they were doing repairs and they were welding or cutting and they cut everything off. Well, I was a youngster at that time, I didn't know nothing about safety. All the training that we do and et cetera, the equipment, the monies that come in, has anyone ever given thought to, if something of this was happen, how they notify to evacuate the area? What would be the procedure, because you guys are busy doing that, even though someone's gonna say, well, wouldn't that be this person, wouldn't it be this person? If we do all the training that we do, and what you guys do, and we fail to go over procedures to get the public away that lives in the area away, what would be the safest distance, what wouldn't be the safest distance? We have tornado sirens nowadays, whether people listen to it or not. So I'm just saying, in management in that area, we need to look at that so that everybody would have an idea at that point in time what to do.
Those plans have already been set and they get practiced on. The oil companies are mandated to understand and be able to respond to every possible emergency at their facilities.
Okay.
They have to put a ton of resources into that every year, as mandated by our government. So as a part of that, we are just a small part of their overall emergency action plans. And so those plans include the police, the fire, the Red Cross, and a massive influx of oil company personnel so that everyone will be notified door to door.
Okay. I understand that there would be no way that you guys would be able to do that portion of it. But obviously, if no one asks and no one says, is that up to date, then, yeah.
We have to keep moving.
No worries,
Sorry,
sir.
Mr. Major.
Gotcha.
It's not because of any of us
I
trustees,
understand.
Mr. Major's pulling
We're
trouble
almost
duty,
there.
and he's got a very hard
So
phone call to
my
get.
second and last item is, if you recall, we were reapplying for an extension of the SAFER grant that funds 10 of our firefighters. To do that most efficiently with the rareness of extensions actually being awarded by FEMA, we decided it was best to get an outside company to write this grant. And within that, there was going to be costs, but we didn't know what they were. So we have a resolution for supplementing ARP funds to pay for those grant writers.
Read that.
It's, resolution 2024-087. It's a resolution that provides supplemental appropriations number 6 for the period commencing January 1, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024. Whereas it is necessary to provide for the current expenses and other expenditures of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio during the year ending December 31, 2024. And whereas the annual appropriations resolution 2023-270 for the period from January 1 to December 31, 2024 needs amended. Now therefore it be resolved by the Board of Township Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio. The sums are presented in Exhibit A that's attached. Hereto attached and be the same are hereby set aside and appropriated for several purposes for which expenditures will be made for and during the year ending December 31, 2024. And the appropriation is in the amount of $3,500 to cover your grant writer for the, Safer grant.
So moved as the resolution's written. I would ask for a second.
I would second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'd call for a vote.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
Anything else, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Bob, thanks for all the
Mr.
help on
Stevens?
the
Absolutely.
truck.
Yes, both chiefs.
I have nothing.
You have nothing, good. Moving on.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, real quick, I wanted to thank, for, the help with a couple of projects, one of them being this young lady's, garden
Yeah, we
phone
spoke.
call,
We
and you
spoke.
really gave a lot of help, and there was another project that you helped out with up in the Triangle. And I wanted to thank you and your men for allowing me to literally, and I mean literally, roll in and share a lunch period with you guys, and,
Anytime.
I enjoyed it and everything, and I just want to say thanks for everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
That's it. Go ahead, James, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Fiscal department, I guess there's a motion to pay bills and payroll. Do you have it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have both of those for you. First thing is motion to approve accounts payable, presented on June 27, 2024. At the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve accounts payable from June 12, 2024 through June 27, 2024 in the amount of $178,515.25 from check numbers 70411 to 70456 and electronic vouchers 1013-2024 through 1098-2024. And the exhibits are attached for your review.
So moved as
So
a
I
that's a motion, right?
Yes, sir.
So moved as the motion's written, and I ask for a second.
I will second.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'd call for a vote.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leeser.
Yes.
And the next motion I have is a motion to approve payroll reports as written, presented on June 27, 2024 at the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve payroll for the period beginning June 2nd, 2024 through June 15, 2024. Paid on June 21st, 2024 in the amount of $204,597.03. ACH direct deposits for electronic vouchers 1021-204 through 1080-204. Exhibits attached for your review.
So moved as, motion's written. I'd ask for a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd call for a vote.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
And that's everything for fiscal.
Okay, we're just gonna move on down to yours. It looks like you have one today.
Yes, the only thing I have today is a resolution of approving, obligations of the township administrator for the period of June 12th, 2024 through June 25th, 2024. Whereas the Board of Trustees in Resolution 2021-130 authorized the township administrator to approve incur obligations of $10,000 or less on behalf of the township in accordance with section 507.11 of the Ohio Revised Code. Whereas pursuant to the provisions of section 507.11A of the Ohio Revised Code, the obligations approved incurred by the township administrator must subsequently be approved by adoption of a formal resolution of the Board of Trustees. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Township Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
And there's an attachment to that,
There is,
spelling out,
yes, sir. there's
spelling out
attachment to
everything
that.
that
Oh,
was meant.
and I should tell you, the period again is June 12th, 2024 through June 25th, 2024, in the amount of $23,445.25.
Thank you, I was just gonna say that. So moved as the resolution's written, and I would ask for a second.
Oh, I'll second. I was thinking you're asking for just.
Any discussion, any questions? Okay, hearing none, I would ask for a vote.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
Mr. Leeser?
Yes.
I have one more question for the board, and this is part of my conversation that I'll have here in a little bit, with the township attorney. On the fire levy, the idea is to do away with the existing 4 levies and just have one levy at the 14.66 mils.
Mm-hmm.
That's my understanding, yeah.
Okay, I just need a clarification on that.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Bob, that's what we discussed, correct?
Yes.
And that would, for the public record, that will cover us even if we don't get the grant. I just wanna make sure
So
that.
that
was
way
out
we
there.
would not have to close down one station. Okay. And this would be permanent, so we wouldn't have to worry going forward in today's world so far.
Right.
Unless something
Well,
20 years, down the road.
times will change. and
Right, I
we'll go
understand.
up.
But I'm talking like in 2 years from now, you need to renew it. We wouldn't have to renew anything.
Okay,
That's all I have for you, Chairman.
okay, thank you. Mr. Fleshman, you have anything for us?
Yeah, I'll make this real quick. I sent out an email, I got a call from, Carl, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, Vodomik, well, I don't know how,
Okay, yeah,
how, you wanna take a stab?
nope.
Spell it.
Voellmecke.
Volumeki or Vol?
Yeah, okay, there you go, that's
We'll
it.
take it.
Sorry if we butchered your name. They do and you may be familiar with this, they do the 5K for the, Hilltop, USA 5K event. Was wanting to extend to us, an invitation, especially the fire department. They would have see if you wanna set up, and then they understand that you would have to run or leave, and they would have one way out for you guys so that you wouldn't be trapped or anything like that. They'd like to see, the police, if they could be involved.
What's the date on that, John?
That date on that is going to be,
It's the first weekend of July, I believe. First
Yeah,
Saturday in July.
the
Okay.
6th.
That's next week.
So they would love to be able to know if we would like to be participated, because of the relationship and stuff like that. And I believe we originally did this group when it got started, the previous chief, wasn't that the one that was in Westgate?
Yep.
Okay, so are you guys able to reach out to this person?
I believe I've already been in contact with them. So
Okay.
I'll make an engine.
If you could make another note, cause when he called me, I called him back, I think it was yesterday or day before, and he's like, no one's ever got with me. So make sure your email got there, et cetera, so if you could. But yeah, anytime that we can do community outreach and let people see who we are and stuff like that, that would be great. And it's gonna be, right there at the church down from the YMCA on Valley View.
Glenwood
Yes.
Church, is that the?
Yep.
The Methodist,
Yes,
is it Methodist? Yeah.
the corner of Valley View and Hague.
Okay, what's the times on that, Bob?
That's a good
It's pretty
question.
early, it's like seven,
Seven, was
8:30
it
or
7
something.
to 8:30?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, and the only other thing that I have is a comment to the board. I know there's nothing that we can do. I don't like the absentee of having someone here representing the fiscal department and Mr. Mazer having to do both. I know things come up, but the frequency, I just want to make a statement.
I have nothing that I haven't already or can't wait, so, Mr. Weber, do you have anything?
We all got the same email on the, budget that
Yes.
has to be in.
Yes.
And so I'm looking over there at the calendar. I just wanna remind you two guys, I believe Mr. Wilczek will be back from vacation on the 1st. And that, I'm sorry, John.
That's okay.
And that, I know the second follows, but I'm wanting to look, so you're good, I've got it in my head now.
Okay.
So, Mr. Wilczek will be back on the 1st. He did not represent what that email represented, and anybody can have
Oh,
the
yeah.
wrong information. But you and I called him in your office that day, he did what he called the walk back. And I understand that Lindsay found out a different thing, and it can totally be right. But my concerns are, he's going to come back Monday, that leaves Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's the 3rd. Nobody works on the 4th, July the 4th, that has to be ready for preview on the 5th. I just wanna make everybody aware of it, that it sounds like it's something, that it's a deadline that has to be kept.
Right, and to the board, I would be a no vote, I'm just saying this, I would be a no vote just by looking at it and saying, I read it and looked at it, okay, we're voting on it, no. I've seen that in the past, I can miss things on there that I may not know, and there's been times that I've caught things and we're like, how did everyone miss that? I'd rather come together as a board and go line by line, it's gonna take us a couple hours, so when we look at this, and with having Mr. Wilczek here, it's not that I don't trust fiscal, it's being able to work as a unit, that did something get missed, or did something get put in the wrong place? Because, I mean, that's page after page after page after page. I just think that, I remember when I first started, they used to do it on a Saturday, and it would take 4 hours with a roller, line by line by line by line.
That's the budget.
Yeah.
This is the money coming in budget.
Right, but that's what I'm getting at, sir. It wouldn't take as long as what that would take, but it would be an opportunity that we need to make sure that the monies that are going into the right line items in which they need to go. And a better abreast of where we stand financially.
I just wanted to make it
We've gotta
abundantly
have it.
clear and out in front of the timeline that we're on.
Absolutely.
And we were down to the very last person saying something, and I wanted to get it out there for our coverage.
Sure.
And then other thing I wanna say is, everybody have a safe and happy 4th of July.
I wanna follow up on this. I don't understand. I do not understand, I mean, it was not representative that he would only spend 2 hours on this project, in that engagement letter to me.
That's all he had. So, I tried to ask questions, and I have to walk a really close line when I ask the questions, but he had 2 hours, they worked together 2 hours.
Right.
And then he went on vacation.
Right, but I mean, in the engagement letter, it was not represented.
I went back and looked at the engagement letter because I thought what we had did was give him another 100. I thought in my mind, we gave him another 100 hours. We didn't give him another 100 hours. What we gave, he changed the wording of the engagement letter. So all I'm trying to say is, I'm not telling you that he's gonna be asking for more money. I'm trying to say is, I don't think we have the time to get it done, James.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. He's going to be back on Monday. Yeah, basically, that means they're going to decide when they're gonna work together, would be Tuesday and Wednesday. And then that doesn't take place until later on into the day, and then he's out of here at noon. So that leaves 2 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours on Wednesday, we're closed on Thursday, and it has to be before the public on Friday.
Right,
Well,
So where are we gonna look at it?
right.
we don't
And that's
have,
where I'm saying, I apologize. I don't want it to be emailed and just look at it like that. I want us to come together as a board. Sorry, sir.
Well, I don't have any plans for the 4th, I wasn't planning on
Well,
spending it here, but.
right, right. Me
if
not-
that-
me
I mean, that's
neither.
part of our job, and that's part of our job, but I think we have to,
Okay.
and I'm not, it always seems
It's a
like,
word.
here's what's gonna happen, this meeting's gonna end, and I'm gonna hear about how I went after somebody in the meeting. I never went after anybody in this meeting.
here,
I'm letting you guys know.
can I speak now?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. It says posted for public by the 5th, but we don't need to vote on it until the 15th, is the way I'm reading this.
That's what
And it is due to the county auditor, county office, no later than July 22nd.
That
So-
sounds perfect then.
So I, you know, that's up, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna be here on July 4th, but if the fiscal, if Ms. Justice wants to spend her 4th of July here working on it, that's up to her. And,
No, if that's how you're representing it, then that's great, but
I mean,
I'm.
that's the way I'm reading it, I don't know, maybe, I'm reading the email.
well, I looked at it as something was posted, that it was final. So does that mean if we post something, can we change it? Can we make edits? You know, I don't know. Good question. We'll find out.
Can you ask
It's
Joe?
out of our control.
Okay,
Pardon me?
it's out of our control, yeah,
I don't think it'd be Julie, I think it would be Carrie.
okay.
Again, I have to be careful of crossing responsibilities.
Yep.
As an administrator, I don't think it's in my
No.
to blur these lines. So,
You're already covering enough there, so.
I mean, we're trying to get the levy situated so it's filed and it's filed properly. And that's, as I said, part of this phone call here in a few minutes. But that's up to the trustees. I mean, I'll do what you.
No, you're fine, no, thank you.
And to my fellow board members, each of us is an elected official by the body of the people. We have to do the work accordingly, so, you know, I can't send somebody else to sit in this seat to make the decisions that I want them to make. Nor can you, or should you be sitting in someone else's seat to do the work that they want you to have done. It has to be, we have to step up and be accountable for our positions.
Yeah, I don't know, that's a good question. I'm rereading the email, that's a very good question, so. Anything else, gentlemen? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.